After our epic Pokemon Red Nuzlocke with a limit of only one Pokemon per team, Johto is next on the chopping block. Since this is Gen 2, we will Nuzlocke Pokemon Crystal with only 2 team slots available to us. That is, we can only battle or use HMs with our first 2 Pokemon and can only change our team when in a Pokemon Center. Apart from that, all other hardcore Nuzlocke rules apply. Without any further ado, let's go. By the way, all nicknames except for Sincho the Farfetch'd are Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards references. We start our Nuzlocke by waking up and going to Professor Elm's lab to grab our starter. We decided to ban Totodile, as it makes the early game pretty trivial, and pick Chikorita, which we named Gigaplant. We quickly do the professor's errand and are free to go on our adventure. We first catch Peacock the Pidgey on Route 29, then Petite Moth the Caterpie on Route 30. Those two might seem unimportant, but here's the deal. Even as early as now, we are extremely worried about how feasible the Elite Four will be with only 2 slots. We spent time theory crafting a way to do it consistently, and it seemed one Pokemon was needed. A hero that would make this nightmarish gauntlet possible. And much like Yu-Gi-Moto in the first episode of the show, we needed to assemble every piece of the puzzle to get that fabled hero Pokemon. The first 2 pieces being Peacock and Petite Moth. We also get Hoppip in Route 31 and then Rattata in Sprout Tower. That means we can come back at night to Route 46 for a guaranteed Haniwa the Geodude and then get Meadowbat the Zubat in Dark Cave. The first gym this sweep lineup has to overcome is Falkner. We leave Peacock, who 1v1s his fellow Pidgey and gets a Sand attack off on Pidgeotto. Haniwa is obviously our Pokemon of choice for the big bird, but it struggles against Mudslaps, so we make sure to switch back and forth between the Mudslap immune Peacock and Haniwa until the 10 Mudslap PP are exhausted, after which Haniwa wins pretty easy. We go to Route 36 in the morning to catch a Ladybug. Ladybug is the next piece of our epic puzzle. If we had got a Growlithe instead, we would have had a guaranteed Ladybug in Route 37. We also get a Ghastly in Route 32. We fish in Violet for Unifrog the Poliwag and catch Frog the Jam the Wooper in Union Cave. All Azalea City has to offer, including Team Rocket Bugsy and Rival 2, is handled largely by Haniwa. We picked Chikorita so that Rival 2 would have the fire type that is weak to our rock, allowing it to check more targets in this notoriously tricky fight. We then go to Elix Forest in the day, catching a guaranteed Larva Moth the Weedle, a next piece of our puzzle. We also get an Abra in Route 34, but of course we fail to catch it before it skedaddles away. Once at Goldenrod, we go to challenge Whitney with a team of Haniwa and Giant Rat. We lead the Rat and easily beat Clefairy. On Miltank, we go Haniwa, which we had hoped would go level 21 so it could learn self-destruct and trade for this Miltank, but fate would have it otherwise. Geodude managed to survive the battle by hitting Miltank with a magnitude. Things went even better than planned apparently. Where the duo of Giant Rat and Haniwa also shown was against Morty. Even though this time it was only Giant Rat who was involved, Mint Berry and Digger all needs to effectively sweep everything the Ghost Leader has. We proceed westward, catching Valkyrien the Magnemite on Route 38, Ushioni the Miltank on Route 39, Ojama Yellow the Chinchou in Cianwood, and Fiend Kraken the Tentacruel on Route 40. We also catch Aqua Dragon the Magikarp back in Ecruteak City. Aqua Dragon and Fiend Kraken quickly make themselves useful by destroying Chuck with their resistance to most of his moves. Next up, we go west of Ecruteak catching a Seaking in Route 42 and a Marill in Mount Mortar. Then we go north to Route 43 where we catch a Farfetch that we call Centro because it got the leaks. After quite the uneventful beating up of Team Rocket and Mahogany, we go see Price, who is evidently not prepared for Ojama Yellow spamming electric and water moves against his Pokemon. We then head to Cianwood again to fight Jasmine, using Haniwa for her Magnemite and Aqua Dragon for her Steelix. Those decently easy wins have given us quite the confidence boost, but we still remain aware of a mistake we made all the way back in Union Cave. We got a Wooper encounter. If we had watched our own Gen into Nuzlocke guide carefully, we would have remembered to use a repel to skip that area to get Lapras later, which is an extremely safe way to beat Claire with Ice Beam and Parasong for Kingdra. Not having that option, we scrape the documentation and find a contingency plan. We go to Cherry Grove, fish a Krabby with a good rod, which guarantees we can now get a Seal in Whirl Island's first floor. All we have to do is level up Seal to 37 without evolving it so it learns Ice Beam, and thus, Daedalus the Dugong joins our squad. Also, side note, Krabby immediately died to a random trainer, but it's fine. It's fine. Using Daedalus, we Ice Beam each of the Dragonairs on Claire's team for the one-shot. When Kingdra comes out, we keep spamming Ice Beam through its various attacks and a Hyper Potion. After the heal, it hits us with a crit Surf, which would have killed if it was a crit Hyper Beam instead. But while we are grateful we did not lose our budget Lapras for the evening, we were fully ready to part ways with Daedalus as this Kingdra is very tough. We take advantage of our luck and go Gyarados and strength for the kill. 8th badge is now ours. With 8 badges in our possession, we can finally head to the dreaded Elite Four. But first, let's prepare our team. First, we go back to Goldenrod and get Dark Magician the Eevee from Bill and Goldenrod, which we had carefully not gotten an encounter in yet. We usually recommend getting Abra from Game Corner, but for this specific challenge, we did not manage to find a way to make Kadabra work. But the Pokemon that we did find a way forward with was our hero Pokemon, the one we were preparing ourselves to get all along. We head to National Park in the morning. We already caught Caterpie, Weedle, Pidgey, and Ladybug, and thus, the only Pokemon we can still get in that area are Nidoran male and Nidoran female, with Nidoran male being the target. We unfortunately get the female one, but that's still perfect for us. All we have to do is breed it with our starter Bayleaf in the daycare and hatch a male Nidoran in a new area. Thanks to this very niche Nuzlocke technique, we can get an egg, go to Blackthorn, and hatch Exodia, the Nidoran. And some of you might be thinking, ain't no way a stupid Nidoran was worth that much trouble to get. Well, dear viewer, why don't we try that and find out? We level up our 2-man squad and head on to Indigo Plateau. Exodia obliterates the final rival fight with the help of Aqua Dragon, but that's only warm compared to the trial that is the Elite Four, which is now ahead of us. 2 versus 26. Let's go. Against Will, we send Dark Magician, which is now an Umbreon. With its access to Feint Attack and Shadow Ball via TM, it has both a super effective physical and special move for Will's psychic types. Confusion from Xatu is also no problem, as we can just switch to Exodia and back to Dark Magician. Umbreon quickly and easily takes care of this overwhelmingly favorable matchup. 1 done, 4 to go. Dark Magician's assistance might have been needed against Psychic types who Nidoking hates facing, but now it's Exodia time. We send Nidoking, whose access to Fire Punch, Earthquake, and Thunder Punch, giving it a super effective move on literally everything Koga has. Swiftly, it spreads destruction, only switching out on Venomoth, who has the move Psychic, before coming back in to Fire Punch it down after some chip. No other Pokemon on this man's team even stands a chance against the mighty Exodia. Even cheese like Toxic Salt does not work on its poison typing, and thus we advance to Bruno. On Hitmontop, we open with an Earthquake. It clicks Dig, making its own grave as we hit it with another Earthquake. Hitmonlee and Sean both suffer similar fates. Onix gets surfed into Oblivious. Even a critical cross chop for his ace Machamp is not enough to scare the fighting resistant Exodia. So far, so good. Against Karen, we make sure to lead Dark Magician for a sorcery mirror match. Her Umbreon is annoying as it gets Sand Attack, but we came prepared. We have Feint Attack and Swift, both of which ignore accuracy drops. With Swift, we slowly but surely chip at this fellow master of the dark arts until it falls down to our superior dark puppy. Next up is Vileplume. We use Feint Attack to chip it as much as possible, getting paralyzed and damaged in the process. Once it's below 50%, well, it's over. We switch to Exodia on Petal Dance, and from here, Exodia has a one-shot on everything with Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, and Earthquake. One more successful obliteration for our Exodia. However, our last match is fittingly against Lance with his 3 mighty dragons. We send out Exodia, who we taught the Ice Punch TM for them. Thunder Punch 1-hit KOs Gyarados, Ice Punch 1-hit KOs each and every Dragonite, a true dragon extinction. Aerodactyl falls to 2 Surfs. Finally, Charizard comes in. We could have just spammed Serve, but we got overly scared of a crit, and we thought Nido was more valuable than Dark Magician for the rest of the run. We went Umbreon, spammed Feint Attack until we fainted, then went to Nidoking, and with a final punch to the face, Charizard and the entire Elite Four and Champion Gauntlet were down. But unfortunately for us, the Nuzlocke is yet to be over. Even after such a triumphant victory, we have to immediately take sail to Kanto, where another region's worth of gym leader await us. We make sure to catch a few Pokemon on our arrival, like Rescue Cat the Meowth, a Clefairy, a Jigglypuff, a Grimer, and an Ekans. Honeywell handles Latuna's Surge for us quite easily, and life for the most part is good. However, Gen 2 Kanto has that thing where it gets you to fall asleep at the wheel with how boring it is. Not only we failed to catch a Murkrow in Route 16, we also somehow managed to kill our starter Bayleaf, but we also got roared the heck out by a Houndour on Route 7. Each of these would have made Sabrina free, and the latter was even considered for both Red and Blue, the 2 final boogeymen of this run. Janine goes decently through a mix of Honeywell and Valkyrie, but on Sabrina, we use a fairly dubious plan of Ushi Oni the Miltank and relinquish the Hypno, which we got on Route 18. Miltank was a lot less specially bulky than we thought, and Hypno did not hit as hard with Headbutt, even though the plan of using leftovers and Protect was nice. We lost Ushi Oni to Espeon and barely managed to 1v1 final Alakazam with Headbutts from Hypno. An untimely crit of special drops would have sent us back to New Bark faster than that boat brought us. We had to calm down and go back to being good at the video game. We scour the parts of Kanto we had not been for new squad members, and while what we found was mostly uninteresting like Venonat and Voltorb, Route 12 gave us a luck charm in the great Chansey. With Chansey's moral support and delicious soft-boiled eggs, we can get back on our feet and finish this run without messing up. For Erica, we use Meadowbat the Crobat from all the way back in Dark Cave, which solos the gym, though it appreciates how its teammate Fiend Kraken used HM Cut to help it get here. We then head to Misty and reveal a weapon she was not expecting, Toxic Chansey. Out of Misty's 4 Pokemon, only Quagsire knows any physical damaging move, which means Chansey, with leftovers and soft-boiled, can just hit them with Toxic and peacefully watch as its opponent slowly but surely dies to poison damage. Once Quagsire shows up, we switch to Aqua Dragon and 1v1 with Strength. And you might have noticed, not only this Chansey is not nicknamed, but we also did not bother to evolve it to the even better Blissey. Well, dear viewer, save the detail up. It's going to be important for later. After handling Misty, we use our 1 Master Ball to catch Marshmallow the Snorlax, which also helps us open the path to Pewter City, home of our next foe, Brock. Brock and the next gym leader Blaine could not have been less ready for the underwater time that is Daedalus. Surf from this thing obliterates every single thing these two knew and loved. Heck, we don't even know which was harder, defeating these 2 supposed gym leaders or catching a Spinarak and Hoot Hoot in the routes along the way just because. But after the calm comes the storm. For next up is the final gym leader of the run, Blue, who comes packing one of the strongest, most diverse, and overall scariest team we are to ever face. Well, when in doubt, use the best Pokemon in the game, I guess. Also, use Lantern because Lantern cool. We lead Ojima Yellow into the Pidgeot, use Spark for the 2-hit KO. However, this otherwise useless bird does the thing we were expecting the least. Mirror Move, copying our Spark and paralyzing us. This is incredibly scary, as we need this guy for more of Blue's Pokemon, but at least the bird falls. Next up is Executor. We switch to the special defense tycoon that is Marshmallow. Not only is Lax not scared of whatever this guy can do and has leftovers for chip healing, it also knows Protect to play around solar beams. Body slams quickly get the goofy egg to fall. Alakazam is next. 2 body slams are enough to send it back to the spoon shop. Rhydon comes next. It outspeeds us, which we did not expect, but we otherwise were prepared for it with a quad effective Surf that gets Marshmalloon its 3rd kill of this fight. Gyarados is sent next. We switch to Ojama Yellow, who despite being paralyzed, manages to deal with Gyarados even with a full restore backing it up, though still taking a lot of damage in the process. Arcanine is last. Lantern does its absolute best once again, but Surf is not a one-shot, and Arcanine's extreme speeds are enough to kill from its current HP. Despite the paralysis, Ojama Yellow falls like a true Chad, fulfilling its duty for the team. From here, Marshmalloon can tank 1 flamethrower and deliver 1 fatal body slam, killing the Fire Dog and winning us our penultimate fight. Last but definitely not least is Red, the Pokemon Master, who once again has a very scary team. We look at our options and finally decide on a plan to send his team to the Shadow Realm. However, this plan involves none of our current squad members. We travel back to Lake of Rage, where we are yet to catch a Pokemon and headbutt a tree, which at this point can only give us Execute as we have caught everything else. Thus, Ryu-Ron joins our team. We then head to this lovely girl on Route 14 who wants our Chansey and is ready to give her Arrow the Aerodactyl for it. We gladly give her our Chansey and get our last Pokemon. We make sure to fully prepare our squad, giving Ryu-Ron a Burnt Berry, and teaching Giga Drain, Psychic, Sludge Bomb, and Sleep Powder, we give Arrow Leftovers and teach it Fly, Ancient Power, Protect, and Rest. With those 2, we get through Mount Silver, approach the lonely genius in the cave, and without even a greeting, start the final battle of the entire Nuzlocke. We lead Ryu-Ron, our Electric Resist against Pikachu. We get hit by an inconsequential Charm, then go for the kill with Psychic. Red pressured our Grass type with Charizard. We go Aeroy on a resistive Flamethrower and hit an Ancient Power for a one-shot. Had we gotten burnt, we would have shrugged it off with Rest. Red sent out his threatening Blastoise next. We go to Executor as it sets up Brain Dance. Blastoise then uses Whirlpool as we Giga Drain for a massive chunk of health. It then uses Blizzard. We are prepared for a freeze, but not for a crit that would one-shot us. But Ryu-Ron holds. Another Giga Drain is all that we need to get the mighty Cannon Turtle down. We see Red starting to lose his cool, sending Espeon, which our Executor is prepared for. We tank a resisted Psychic and put it to sleep with Sleep Powder. Then all we have to do is spam Sludge Bomb on the physically frail cat. 2 turns later, Red's Espeon is down and Lax is next. Our Executor has officially done its job successfully and can fall back to Aeroy. With Rest and Protect, we are ready to stall all 15 Body Slam PP on this Lax should we have to. But Red, maybe seeing his fate ahead, cooperates and does not click his own Rest, saving both of us time as all he does next is send Venusaur, his final team member, who probably falls to a single stab fly from Aerodactyl. And just like that, with only 2 Pokemon at a time, we completed a hardcore Nuzlocke of Crystal. It was a very fun, yet difficult challenge to do. We recommend you try this, that is, if you're brave enough, and wish you a nice day.